So today we're going to tackle one of the biggest kind of hidden problems in the entire world of AI. We're talking about data quality. It's the kind of thing that can bring even the most advanced, most expensive models to their knees. But we're also going to look at a really clever solution that's designed to stop this problem before it can even start.
And really, it all boils down to this one simple but incredibly powerful idea. You've probably heard it before: garbage in, garbage out. And AI is only ever as good as the data you feed it. And if there's no garbage going in, well then, there's no garbage coming out. That's the core principle we're digging into today.
Okay, so what does this garbage in crisis actually look like in the real world? Well, it's a daily, massive headache for any company that's using AI or, OCR, optical character recognition, to process files that people are uploading.
Look, this is basically the oldest rule in the book when it comes to computers. You put bad information in, you're going to get bad information out. Simple as that. But for modern AI, which needs just these vast amounts of data to function properly, this isn't just a rule. It's a massive, massive bottleneck.
And here's how that whole frustrating chain reaction plays out. It all starts so innocently, right? A user uploads a blurry photo from their phone, or maybe a messy spreadsheet that's not formatted right. The AI gets it, and it just struggles. So it spits out unreliable or sometimes totally made-up results. This just burns through computing power, which costs real money. And at the end of it all, you have a frustrated user who just throws up their hands and blames the dumb AI, when really the problem was that very first file.
So what's the fix? I mean, instead of trying to clean up a mess after it's already happened, what if you could just stop the mess from ever getting in? What if you had a gatekeeper guarding the front door? Let's take a look at that.
And that's where something like Preflight Universal comes into the picture. Its entire job, its whole purpose, is to be that quality control layer that sits right between what a user uploads and your powerful AI engine. It is your first line of defense.
Honestly, the best way to think about this is like a bouncer for your data pipeline. Seriously, just like a bouncer at a club checks IDs to make sure only the right people get in, Preflight checks files to make sure only high-quality, readable data gets into your system. It's kind of like a spell checker, but for the quality of the entire file.
Okay, so that all sounds pretty cool in theory, but how does it actually work? Let's pop the hood and take a look.
It's actually a really elegant three-step process. First, it detects what kind of file it is and routes it to the right place. Second, it runs a bunch of specialized quality checks. And then finally, it gives the file a score and a clear verdict.
Now this is the really clever part. This is not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. Preflight is smart. It sees a standard PDF, and it sends it to a document reading plugin. But if it sees a medical x-ray or a lab report in a spreadsheet, it routes them to specialized plugins built specifically for that kind of data. That makes the quality check way more accurate.
So after it runs all its checks, looking for things like image resolution, sharpness, or maybe proper spreadsheet structure, what do you get? You get a super simple, easy-to-understand quality score from 0 to 100. And that number tells you right away how likely your AI is going to succeed with this file.
And based on that score, Preflight gives a really clear verdict. It's kind of like a traffic light. Good files get a green light to proceed. Borderline files, well, they get a yellow light warning. And the really poor quality files, they can get a red light, blocking the upload completely and stopping that garbage from ever getting in.
All right, but this next part, this is where it gets really interesting. This is kind of Preflight's secret sauce, because it doesn't just block bad files, it actually coaches the user on how to do better next time. It creates this powerful feedback loop.
I mean, just look at the difference here. We have all seen those totally useless error messages, right? Upload failed. Error 404. Thanks for nothing. Now compare that to the Preflight feedback. This image is too blurry. Please retake it in a well-lit area. Now that is specific, it's actionable, and it actually teaches the user something.
And what this does is brilliant. It completely flips the script. A moment of frustration suddenly becomes a teaching moment. And over time, this kind of feedback actually changes people's behavior. They learn what a good upload looks like, which means you get fewer bad files in the future, and you build a ton of trust in your system. And the cool thing is, you've got total control over how strict this gatekeeper is. You can set up a hard gate that just completely blocks really bad files. Or you can use a soft gate for those borderline cases, which lets the file through but tags it for later review. But either way, the user always gets that helpful coaching.
So let's bring this all together, because when you add all this up, it's about way more than just checking files. It's about protecting your entire investment in AI.
You can see how this directly boosts accuracy across the board.
For OCR, it means text is actually readable. For data analytics, it means your tools don't break on a badly formed spreadsheet. And in really critical fields like medicine, it can catch a blurry X-ray before an AI has a chance to make a bad call.
So the business case here is just crystal clear, right? First, you're maximizing the accuracy of your AI. Second, you're saving money by not wasting expensive server time processing junk. And third, and maybe most importantly, you're just creating a way better experience for your users. And that really brings us to the big takeaway. Preflight is so much more than just a fancy file uploader. You should think of it as an insurance policy for your entire AI pipeline. It's there to protect its integrity, its accuracy, and its efficiency.
So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. We pour so much time and so much money into building these incredible AI systems, but are we actually protecting that investment right at the front door? Is your AI getting the quality data it truly deserves?